Once upon a time, there was a man named Jacob. He had 12 sons, and these sons became the ancestors of a group of people called the Israelites. They journeyed from place to place, eventually settling in Egypt. Over time, they grew into 12 distinct tribes. Under the guidance of a leader named Moses, the Israelites left Egypt and ventured to Canaan, where they established the nations of Israel and Judah. However, their unity didn't last forever. In 722 BCE, the kingdom of Israel fell to the Assyrians, scattering many Israelites. Some went into exile, while others migrated to Judah or intermarried with foreigners. Later, in the 6th century BCE, Babylon conquered Judah, and its people were taken captive. Despite this hardship, some of their descendants returned, becoming known as Jews. According to the Bible, the Israelites were chosen by God for a special covenant, promising blessings in exchange for obedience. This covenant is central to the faith of Jews and Christians alike. While modern scholars debate the exact origins of the Israelites, the biblical narrative tells of Jacob's 12 sons, who became the foundation of the 12 tribes. These tribes, led by Moses, journeyed through the wilderness and eventually conquered Canaan. Although technically there were 13 tribes, with the tribe of Levi serving as priests, when dividing land, they counted as 12. And the Israelites' journey in Canaan was far from smooth sailing. Guided by Moses and then Joshua, they faced many trials. The book of Judges tells tales of their struggles, battles against native peoples, temptations from foreign beliefs, and even conflicts amongst themselves. But through it all, they persevered. Eventually, a new leader emerged, Samuel. He anointed Saul as the first king of Israel. However, Saul's reign was short-lived, as God rejected him. In his place, Samuel chose David, a humble shepherd who would become a legendary king. David's path to kingship was fraught with challenges. He fought against Saul's descendants, establishing himself as the ruler of a united Israel. Yet, even in his reign, discord lingered. Rebellions erupted, with some tribes rejecting David's authority. His son, Solomon, inherited the throne and sought to strengthen the kingdom. But his heavy taxation and labor demands sparked resentment, leading to a divided nation. The northern tribes broke away, forming their own kingdom, while Judah remained in the south. A religious rift widened between the two kingdoms. Should all worship be centralized in Jerusalem, or could local shrines suffice? This debate fueled tensions between Judah and Israel. In 722 BCE, tragedy struck. The Assyrians invaded, destroying the northern kingdom of Israel. Many were exiled, scattered to the winds. In time, they faded from history, leaving behind only Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the ancestors of modern-day Jews. And now go to 607 BCE, after the fall of Judah to Babylon. The Judeans endured a long and arduous exile. For 70 years they dwelled in the land of their captors, yearning for their homeland. It was Cyrus the Great of Persia who finally granted them reprieve. In 537 BCE, he permitted their return to Jerusalem and the reconstruction of their sacred temple. In the aftermath of exile, the Judeans underwent a profound transformation. They embraced a unified identity, coming to be known simply as Jews. Yet, the fate of their northern brethren remained uncertain. Referred to as lost by Jewish history, the remnants of the northern tribes formed the nation of Samaria. Though they endured, their relationship with the Jews was strained, marked by differing beliefs and a shared history of persecution. As the centuries passed, the Jews faced further trials. Rebellion against Rome in 66 CE led to the destruction of the temple and the dispersion of Jewish communities. A subsequent uprising under Bar Kokhba only deepened their diaspora, scattering them across the known world. Despite their dispersion, Jews persevered, establishing communities in lands far and wide. From the cities of the Roman Empire to the shores of distant continents, they forged new lives. Yet, their journey was fraught with danger, culminating in the horrors of World War II. Adolf Hitler's regime sought their annihilation, but through the resilience of the Allied forces, the Jews endured. In the aftermath of the war, the dream of a homeland became a reality. In 1948, the State of Israel was established, offering sanctuary to survivors and refugees alike. It was a beacon of hope in a world scarred by tragedy, a testament to the enduring spirit of the Jewish people. And modern perspectives offer a different lens through which to view the ancient history of the Israelites. Archaeological findings and biblical studies challenge the traditional narrative of their origins. The notion of a mass exodus from Egypt, led by Moses and consisting solely of Jacob's descendants, is met with skepticism. Instead, it's proposed that the Israelites may have been a diverse group, including various ethnicities and backgrounds. The biblical mention of a mixed multitude departing Egypt supports this view. Furthermore, the process of Israelite settlement in Canaan appears less like a swift conquest and more like a gradual assimilation. Archaeological evidence suggests the blending of Israelite and Canaanite cultures rather than a clear-cut takeover. The first historical reference to Israel outside of the Bible comes from the Egyptian ruler Merneptah, who boasts of defeating Israel in Canaan. This challenges the timeline presented in the biblical narrative. A prevailing theory suggests that many Proto-Israelites were indigenous to Canaan rather than migrants from Egypt. Over time, various groups may have joined the emerging Israelite Federation, adopting its identity and origin stories. Among these groups, the tribe of Joseph stands out, possibly having spent time in Egypt before settling in Canaan. Additionally, the Merneptah stele hints at the existence of wanderers who worship the Israelite god Yahweh, possibly the ancestors of the Israelites. Other groups, such as the Hyksos and the Aparu, are also considered possible precursors to the Israelites. The biblical conquest of Canaan may reflect the memories of earlier conflicts, distorted through the lens of later religious interpretation. Literary analysis suggests that figures like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob may have once represented separate tribal ancestors, later fused into a single lineage. Similarly, each Israelite tribe may have had its own distinct origin story, later merged into the larger narrative of the Israelites. The biblical record itself hints at a complex and nuanced history. The Book of Judges depicts the Israelite tribes as distinct entities, sometimes at odds with each other or at peace with neighboring peoples. Instances of adoption and integration are evident, blurring the lines between Israelite and Canaanite identities. Beyond Judaism, various groups lay claim to the identity of Israelites or Jews, though their interpretations and beliefs diverge widely. Some hold a spiritual belief, interpreting passages from the New Testament to suggest that followers of Christianity are heirs to Israelite heritage. For instance, in Ephesians, it is proclaimed that through the gospel, Gentiles are joined as heirs alongside Israelites. Similarly, Jesus' words in the Gospels imply a transfer of God's kingdom to those who bear fruit, regardless of their lineage. In the early days of America, Puritans and settlers saw the land as a new Israel, ordained by God for their prosperity and freedom. The Latter-day Saint movement, or Mormons, believe in a spiritual regathering of Israel through baptism and receiving the Holy Ghost. On the other hand, some groups claim direct physical descent from the ancient Israelites. The Samaritans, for example, trace their lineage back to the tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh. Recent genetic studies have lent credence to their claims. Canaanite Judaism is another group, rejecting the Talmudic tradition and adhering strictly to the Torah. While once part of mainstream Judaism, they maintain a distinct identity today. In the Rastafarian movement, belief in the black races as the true children of Israel is central. Similarly, various black Israelite movements assert their descent from the ancient Israelites. The African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem, for instance, reside in Dimona, Israel, claiming lineage from the 10 lost tribes. However, alongside these interpretations, there exist anti-Semitic groups who vilify Jews as impostors and claim exclusive rights to the title of true Israelites.